Welcome to the Plan 8 Wedding Series. In this episode we've got some great information for you. We'll be taking a closer look at the order in which to book everything for your wedding and hopefully checking off yet another massive job on your to-do list. We've also got 5 great tips for you at the end, so please stay tuned. So if you're watching this, then you've probably got a good idea of what you want to book for your wedding, but your head feels like spaghetti junction because you've no idea where to start. Well, you're not alone. It's one thing we get asked so much, so don't worry. You're in good hands, and by the end of it, you'll know what to do. The very first thing you need to secure is your reception venue. This really is the core of your wedding planning. Everything else builds around it. It dictates how many guests you can have, the travel time, the timing of the day itself. All things you need to know. So number 1, get your deposit down and get your date held. Straight after that, the church or the celebrant or even the second venue, whatever you've got planned, you basically want to book someone or somewhere to marry you. Get your deposit down. Now these are the 2 main things. Tick them off your list and that's the foundation of your day sorted. So what's next? Take a look at the rest and pull out any supplier that doesn't have any involvement on the day of the wedding. Your jeweller, for example. You'll have paid for and collected your rings maybe a few weeks before the wedding. You won't see the jeweller on the day, their job is done. Your bridal shop is another example. The dress is fitted, it's paid for and collected. It's sat at home with a week to spare and you don't need to see them on the day. It's a similar situation with the tailors and the stationer. All you need to do with these guys is give them a call and tell them your wedding date. Ask them when to go in and see them. They normally say to come in between 9 and 12 months before the wedding. These particular suppliers, they have a process for you to follow. They'll want to see you over a series of appointments and they'll schedule them so that you've got the rings or you've got the dress in good time for your wedding. So you can get these suppliers and you can put them to one side for a little while. So long as they've got enough time to work on your order, there's nothing too urgent here. You just make sure that you give them at least 12 months notice of the wedding date. So after you've done that, it's time to use your initiative. You essentially want to prioritise everything else in the list. You want to separate the suppliers that can only work on one wedding per day from the ones that can work on several. Well, how do you work that out, you ask? Well, do they need to be on site to do their job? I can't speak for all suppliers, but let me give you a couple of examples. Photographers, they are largely sole operators. If you book Jessica Smith's wedding photography, it's going to be Jessica Smith that turns up with a camera. She can't be in 2 places at once. Venue styling companies tend to be able to cover several weddings on the same day. They can dress a room and then go. They can set up lots of venues. They can even work through the middle of the night setting up weddings if they have to, and believe me, they often do. Your photographer, videographer, caterer, musician, transport, hair and makeup, DJ, photo booth, they're all examples of services provided on site. Once they're booked, that's it, the date's gone. There's no moving things around to accommodate you. That makes them more of a priority. That's pretty much all there is to it. There's no exact order in which to book things other than the first 2. Really, it's common sense after that. Well, common sense and a little bit of emotion. If your heart is absolutely set on having a festival glitter makeup artist at your reception making everybody look fantastic and you're so excited about them, just do it. Call them as soon as you've got your date. If you're not too fussed about, maybe love letters, hold off a little bit, maybe see what the budget's like a little bit further down the line. So hopefully now you've got a better feeling of what you want to book first and what you can hold off on. Here's a few extra supplier related tips. The better a supplier is at what they do, the earlier they're going to get booked. So now you know what's important to you, book accordingly. Number 2, If you absolutely fall in love with what a supplier does and they're within budget, book them. We hear it so often that a couple goes away to think about it and they come back to book and the date's gone. The couple are left devastated. There's so much to sort when you're planning your wedding. Don't deny yourself some progress just for the sake of shopping around. I'm not saying do this with every supplier, but trust your gut. You'll know if they're the one. Number 3, once your venue is booked, speak to the coordinator. Run through with them what you're having at your wedding. Ask them if they need to see any documentation from any particular supplier. Public liability insurance, PAT certificates, risk assessments might be required, particularly from suppliers who need power. If them suppliers can't provide these documents, then they might not be allowed in the venue, so it's better to check with them before this is an issue. Number 4, make sure you're happy with the contracts. Get receipts for any money you pay and keep it all together in your wedding binder. And number 5, get the deal, all communication, get everything, get it all in writing. It gives both parties a reference point, stops issues creeping up further down the line, and it means you don't miss anything important, like a payment date. And that's all we've got to say on the order of booking your wedding suppliers. Thank you so much indeed for watching this episode of the Planet Wedding series. The like and subscribe buttons are just there if you want to be notified, and we've got some more excellent wedding tips for you. Good luck with the planning, and we'll see you in the next one.